hello, welcome, hello, bienvenido to you and yours, hola as well, and guten Tag. I couldn't remember that. It is I, your host of the Dork Side of the Ring, in the purveyor of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I am Grumm, and it is a pleasure to have you once again here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. I hope you enjoyed your Halloween, and you're prepping for your Halloween. Yeah. Because if you're listening to this, Patreon early access, support.grumm.tv, you can, maybe you're just getting all your candies sorted. You're getting your candies sorted either way, pre or post Halloween. There we go. It is good to have you. Glad to have you. As I am recording this, it is the week before Halloween, and I don't have my stuff ready for you, my candies. So don't come trick or treating around me just yet. I'm not ready, and I won't be ready. I'm just going to be honest with you. Speaking of Patreon, as I am recording this, the day that this went up on Patreon, also went up on Patreon, the watch-along of the Sting Rick Steiner match from Great American Bash 1999 that myself, JTR, and Crawford watch, otherwise known as Episode 2 of the Dork Side of the Ring, Sting is attacked by dogs. It's a fun one. It's basically like alternative commentary. It's kind of fun. And if you're listening to this not through Patreon, so you're listening to this on November 1st, y'all, we got 2 months left in the year. 2 months left in the year. We've also entered the 5th month of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. So, yay. That's awesome. But no, the next thing that'll go up, I think I have it tentatively scheduled right now, is the This Is Your Life with Citra and Purple. So that'll be up on the Patreon as well, at the Llama Club Elite tier to watch that. And it's I do it basically. I think I have it right now where the weekend I'm not working. My Saturday morning, instead of working, is working, if that makes sense. But no, today though we have my dear friends ItsOnlyJill and Mopgarden coming on to finish the second half of our Halloween double header, our double Halloween header, our 2-part Halloween hang. I don't know. I was trying to go for alliteration there. Last week we did the Sumo Monster Truck match from Halloween Havoc 1995 with Slayer and Imperial Jedi, or Slay 3K and Imperial Jedi. A lot of fun with those two. This week we have Mop and Jill on, and we finish the event, Halloween Havoc 1995. We're talking about the Yeti. That's right. So I show them the whole main event match and what happens after. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. Halfway through, Jill and Mop find out that we can curse, or they can curse on the podcast, that I don't care about, censoring. So it gets the conversation takes a turn, especially around the idea of how people... Actually, I think that might have been on the actual match itself. So... that might be that. But no, yeah, either way, it's a lot of fun. It's a good one. Either way, I think it is during the match. So the first half, before I show them the match, they don't realize we can curse. And afterwards, it is post-realization, so it's a lot of fun. It's a good conversation. This episode was a lot of fun to just to do. I always enjoy showing people who don't watch wrestling some of wrestling and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys again for the support. As I said, this is entering month 5 of doing this. This is probably my longest running, consistently updated podcast in years. So that's good. I like that. Big fan of that. And appreciate you guys' support. Without further ado, let's go head over to the interview. The interview, it's not an interview, it's the actual content of the show, which is the hangout, the conversation, the dork side, the actual dork side of the ring. Let's go step in the ring with It's Only Jill and Mopgarden from Twitch.tv. 2 partnered streamers. That's right. I know partner streamers. Let's get to it. Here's the conversation with those 2 lovely ladies. To see this,
my best, but
I'm trying to think. I think this is the first all girls episode.
This is ladies' night.
It's gonna be the best one ever.
It's gonna be.
Look, there's been a lot of good ones. I have every faith that this is the best one.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
If not, it might only be the best one for a day because I'm recording another one tomorrow, and my best one.
Forever.
I always say my best episode is my next episode. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess that's how you have to think, right?
yeah. It's like, what's your best stream? Your next stream.
True.
The next one.
Exactly.
True.
Unless I never stream again.
No, but but even then, if you never stream again, you have the anticipation. And they're like, well, when they come back, they said their next stream would be the best one.
Would be the best one.
So I'll sit here and I will wait forever. I won't eat. I won't drink.
Funny.
I'll learn to be an air filter to eat.
Oh God, those air eaters. What are they called? I don't know what they're called.
I mean, I think barnacles do that, right?
Oh.
They're filter eaters. They're filter feeders.
No, but I mean, like people do that. They're like, I just need air and sunlight. I'm like, okay.
That's a lie. like
like you're going to die.
Scientifically, that is false. Exactly, you will die if you do not consume actual nutrients. You will die. Like even a whale. Like yes, whale eat krill, but they eat like 1 million krill a pop. So like. They get it, you know.
God, I wish I was a whale. That sounds great. Just non-stop
right?
eating.
I mean,
swim around with your mouth open.
I mean, you could.
God, I love you, Mop. Oh my God.
Just like you just want really what you want is gills, right? You don't want to be able to like
swim around with your mouth. Well, whales don't even have gills.
No, but that's the thing is they have to go up and get some water. Like Mop, the optimal version of that is just swimming with your mouth open as a fish with gills.
That's
Mop swimming around now with her mouth open like this is a dream.
This is all I ever wanted.
This is what I really wanted out of life.
Next time Mop plays Animal Crossing, we have to notice if when she's in the water, she's got her mouth open while she's just simulating being like lost in the moment.
I'm never playing Animal Crossing again.
I heard. Yeah, I was listening. Yeah,
my Switch blue screened and I lost my save, so I'm never restart.
Oh, Grumm, you brought up those hard.
Look, first off,
worst day ever, worst podcast ever. Terrible.
First off, I was just gonna say that I was listening to I knew this because I listened to her podcast, which we'll get to in a second. Because we're here on the dork side with my guest. I guess that's a good lead-in. I'm getting better at the natural lead-in. I like the natural lead-in where it's not like, hey, so we'll listen to right after this, and it's like back on the dork side. It's like there's some natural flowing conversation. We're here on the dork side. I've got my guest with me. Let me do the official. No, wait, hold on, Jay. No, yeah. So we got It's Only Jill and Mopgarden. I was trying to think of the alphabet. I like to go alphabetically here, and I was like, fuck, does J, I know I comes before M.
You do the alphabet in your head? I have to do that every time.
Yeah, look, normally I'm good. It's that middle section, this JKLM, like M, like that's where it gets fucked up. I'm like, whew, all right. Like I knew I came before M, and I don't know why my brain didn't go. I mean, Garden Mop, we could. Then G comes first. Either way, we're here with It's Only Twitch partnered streamer. It's Only Jill, and also Twitch partnered streamer Mopgarden. It is good to see you, my friends. How are you doing?
Good.
A little tired, but aside from that, excellent.
Okay, I need to say something really quick, and I'm so sorry to go off track because we were talking about gills. when you said Jill's name, it sounded really wrong to me. And I was like, it's not, it's only Jill. And I was like, wait, no, but it is.
It is only
It's not,
Gil,
it's
yes.
only Gil.
It's only Gil. It's only Gil. Look, even outside, so it's hello, Jill's chat. Hi. Yeah, we're keeping. I inadvertently made it's only Gil. It's this is good.
No.
This is good. Yeah, you can't escape. Look,
From now on.
if I can't, I guarantee you were gonna bring up a monster dildo joke. You were gonna do it, Jill.
At some point.
Exactly.
Some point.
So I had to get out ahead. You know.
Yeah.
So yes.
I've derailed the conversation. I'm sorry.
There's no. Did I send you guys? There's no format here. Well, there is a slight format, but there's really no guiding part. But here we are on the Dork side of the podcast with my friends. It's only Jill and Mopgarden. We go alphabetically here. So Jill, it's only Jill, Jillian, Jilliam, Jill I am, Gil, Grill, and Joel. I need to get all the nicknames out there. Go ahead. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I mean, you left out Queen. You know. Anyway, you can't leave out Queen. As Grumm said, it's only Jill. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I like to be very community forward, so I play a lot of slower paced games, not a lot of the high paced FPS, just because I like to be able to continue to talk to chat the entirety of me playing games. I am a huge goofball. I am, in fact, Canadian. What up? And I love things that are tragically beautiful, like Sugar Skulls and Halloween and all of that other stuff. So, come check me out, because I'm a shameless plug. What up? I'm too tired for this. I'm getting delirious. Let's go.
Tired? You woke up like 3 hours ago. What the fuck?
You don't know, but I may or may not have taken a nap in between that time.
Been up for 3 hours, had a nap for 2 of them. I understand.
Been there.
Who hasn't? And on the other end of the digital table here is my friend Mopgarden. Mop, go ahead, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Hello. My name's Mopgarden. I am also a Canadian, but I've deserted Canada and live in Australia.
Later.
I stream 4 days a week now. I used to be full-time, but I'm in school at the moment. And I just love all games, really. Yeah, Mopgarden. Me. I'm really bad at plugging myself.
Yeah, if you can find Mop on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mopgarden.
Twitch.tv/Mopgarden.
Yes. You can also find Mop on YouTube, Mopgarden. And
True.
Mop, you can also find Mop also in the same place that you can find Dork Side of the Ring in any available podcasting platform. Her podcast is called Just Chatting with Mopgarden. She interviews. It's bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. It's a new episode every 2 weeks with figures from the gaming sphere, from streamers, TV show hosts for esports organizational heads and players. Mop's pretty connected.
Yeah, and Grumm was on it too.
I was on it. That's true.
Indeed.
I will be on it soon enough if I can figure out a scheduling.
Eventually, yes,
look at
You know
this.
what? We figured out Wednesday, Thursday works for us.
I literally was about to say. I was like, look, I mean, if you guys are here, I'm glad I can connect you guys professionally. This is good. I will take credit for the professional relationship that you two have. Thank you very much. That's me patting myself on my back.
Show's over, guys. I hope you had fun. No.
So, unlike Just Chatting with Mopgarden, which is about streaming, this podcast is about everything, and we relate it to a topic that we watch from professional wrestling. So I ask. We'll start with you, Mop. What is your experience with professional wrestling?
I know literally nothing. I've seen one of Rob's videos, and that was pretty neat. But yeah,
Rob being Geek Generation.
yeah.
Many Robs.
And that's it. So
Okay.
nothing.
That's it.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
All right. Okay. This is good. This is good. So we're on the maiden voyage. Jill, what about yourself? Do you have any? If so, what is your experience with the professional wrestling?
Not much. My stepsister used to watch it a little bit, so like whenever she had it on, I don't know. Sometimes I'd sit there. I had no idea what was going on. That and like occasionally I play those like wrestling video games with my brother because our parents would buy it for
Fun.
us. Aside from that, like nothing. That was like probably when I was 10 too, so I have no clue
All
now.
right, let's see. So we're around the same age. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out what the game around 10. So it's at 90. It's 2002, 2003.
Let's see.
It was probably
we
was
owned
it-
very few consoles, if that helps. We only had at the time it would have been a GameCube.
Ooh, so it was like
PlayStation.
I want to say, okay, so that really does open it up. So there was the SmackDown series on PlayStation. Could have been Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, or that's probably around that, if around 10. If it's GameCube, I think Day of Reckoning was on there. But yeah. So it's somewhere around there.
It could have been one of the WrestleManias on GameCube.
No, I think, was it WrestleMania 19? Look, now we're just I think it was WrestleMania 19 on the game. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Look, wrestling games, still a very strong point of my wrestling fandom, but I was PlayStation 2, so I had the best games that there were in being the SmackDown series. So, the two of you, no wrestling, not much wrestling experience, very little, which is good. Because the less that you know, I have found it is more fun to go into the mind a little bit of the people who are watching this for the first time. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Can you explain that? I'm like, I'll try, because what we watch tends to not be very wrestling related on the Dork side. It's very, it happens in wrestling, but like we've watched a man shower an entire group of people in pressurized milk. Watched a man break into another man's house, and that man had a broken leg, but he had a 9mm pistol, and was threatening his life, and apparently shot him. So like there are things that like they happen because of wrestling, but even within wrestling, they don't make any sense, and it's better to have people who don't even understand wrestling. Although sometimes with the people who do know wrestling, it's still fun because they're like, I can't explain that. I can't figure out why that happened. So, Jill, you brought up that you like Halloween.
I do.
What about you? Do you like Halloween?
I love Halloween, yeah.
Fuck, I'm alone here. I hate
You don't
Halloween.
like Halloween?
Why?
I'm not... So I wasn't big on... I think, like, a lot of my friends growing up, I moved a lot of times, like, during, like right as I started to make friends, like the strong bonds, I tend to move. So like, I didn't really every like Halloween would just be like the family would go, and eventually I got tired of wanting to hang out. You know, everybody gets to that age when they're a teenager. They're like, I don't really want to hang out with my family. I don't want to be seeing my little brother or my little sister. My mom's always overprotective. I'd rather just stay home. Luckily for me, whenever I stayed home, nobody ever, like for at least the last 15 years, nobody has come to our house. Like, we live on the end of a street that only has one street light. Even though it's a very nice neighborhood, there's only one street light, and it gets pitch black. So, people are, even if you have the light on at the door, walking down a dark street is just not...
ominous and creepy.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Which is perfect for Halloween night, but...
Right, it is. But it is not good if you are... there's also not that many young kids in our neighborhood anymore.
Fair.
All the people in my neighborhood were like, all the kids grew up, but no new families have really moved in. So,
like, what about Halloween parties? Like, that doesn't involve walking down the street. I mean, unless you really wanted to.
I went to Halloween, like I did Halloween parties in college, and then when I got older, like I like partying at people's houses. We just hang out. Like my group of friends, we weren't too big into Halloween. So we would just sit around and drink in our normal clothes,
eat candy
and
drink.
Yeah. So it wasn't even a party. So it was just like, all right, cool, we get to drink. But yeah, so I am alone in this. It's good, but it is good that you got, because this episode is scheduled to show up on All Hallows Day, which is November 1st.
Ooh.
And as part the previous episode, one of the previous episodes I recorded was actually with Slayer and Jedi, as we were talking about a little bit before the podcast. I decided to do a little two-parter. I wanted to get there's a singular event that happened around Halloween in wrestling that it deserved 2 episodes for it. But before we get to that, I have to ask you a question. Who is your favorite Halloween monster?
Oh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Any answer will do.
Edward Cullen. No, I'm totally kidding.
I should say any category. Any category is there. Edward Cullen.
For some reason, a small portion of my brain was like, she's gonna say Edward Scissorhands. It's gonna be weird, guys.
Is he a Halloween monster? I guess technically.
I mean, he's a vampire, but you know, kind of sad excuse for a vampire.
I haven't watched. I just thought he was a guy with scissors for hands, and he was in the whole goth aesthetic. Is he really a vampire?
Oh, I thought we were still talking about.
Edward Cullen.
I was like, oh my god, Edward Scissorhands is a vampire.
I'm like, I was watching the wrong movie. What happened? What did I miss?
That's hilarious.
No, Edward Cullen. Yeah, he is. He is. I don't. Yeah.
Fantasy vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like Frankenstein is kind of cool because he's like, he's just kind of there. Like, he didn't choose this life. But
I can relate. I also did not choose this life. Me and Frankenstein very much similar.
I think just the werewolf is pretty cool.
All right. It's not bad. Okay, the werewolves are good.
Sorry, were our answers not good enough?
No, it's just like, I've asked this question. This is like the 3rd time I've asked a horror related question. The very first episode we did an episode. Chucky from Child's Play had interrupted a wrestling promo to promote his own movie. In the middle,
to that one. Me and Sandra listened to that one together.
Aww,
we listened to it together in the living room. I actually listened to that.
Wow. So yeah.
There's my other wrestling experience. I listened to one of your podcasts.
This is good. That's good. I've asked the question like, who's your favorite horror movie? Like figure. Like Hellraiser was an option. I think Jigsaw was brought up as well. And then
Jigsaw? Wait.
He's a horror movie figure.
Like the Doctor?
Jigsaw, the puppet.
Oh, Billy.
Sure?
Yeah, Jigsaw
is his name?
Jigsaw's the mastermind. He created Billy. Billy is the creepy little doll with the red cheeks and the wig and whatever on the tricycle. I'm obsessed with the Saw movies, so.
I mean, they're good. I just always call
Billy.
Jigsaw. That's fair. Okay. So yeah, Billy.
I was like, wait, like the guy, like the old guy?
Yes, the old guy.
Halloween figure?
Technically, but no. So like, I asked that question, and then with Slayer and Jedi, I asked, I think, man, this is like 2 days ago when we recorded. I don't remember the exact question, but it was different from this one. I think I asked along the lines of like favorite like just horror movie in general. I think might have been the question, or just something like Halloween Activity. I guess maybe was it. But it's so far. It was just like, all right, werewolf, and then Frankenstein. Very two like synonymous with Halloween. Anytime you see the Halloween special episode, somebody's always dressed up as one of them. Or there's a werewolf, and then there's a Frankenstein, and there's Bride. Very cheesy stuff. Mm-hmm. You also see a mummy. I was wondering if maybe we would go there. The reason why I say that, because in 1995 in WCW, which is no longer around, but WCW had a pay-per-view called Halloween Havoc. It aired last Sunday of every October. It was one of their big events. They had built up throughout the summer leading up to this a big showdown between Hulk Hogan and the Giant. The Giant was a member of the Dungeon of Doom who had these mythological horror kind of figures. They had a shark, a man-eating, like a shark. A guy, like the guy's name was the Shark. They had the Zodiac, who was this like zebra-looking thing. I never understood that one. They had the Giant. They had a bunch of other like just things. Eventually, they would go on and they would get like a wolf and other like smaller, wrestler. I wouldn't say smaller wrestlers. I would say just short-lived members of the group. Mm-hmm. But leading up to this event, Hulk Hogan had his motorcycle ran over by the Giant in a monster truck.
Oh. It
would lead to, and then we covered this on last week's episode, a sumo monster truck match. Where, and I'll show you this so you get a little bit of the context, but it basically they weld two monster trucks together and they try to push each other out of a giant circle on top of like a parking garage. And when they do, Hulk Hogan wins, and the Giant is very upset. The Giant gets out of his monster truck, chases down Hulk Hogan to the edge of a building, lifts him up, stands up on top of the ledge himself. So he's got Hulk Hogan by the neck, both hands on his neck, and they're both on the ledge. And Hogan's trying to get off of the ledge back onto the thing, and back onto the actual parking garage. And the Giant is trying to throw him over. Obviously that's how it's supposed to look. And Hogan breaks his grip, and in a very almost comical move, the Giant goes over the top. And it is implied that he fell and he died. Only problem is, as a viewer at the time, you're watching this and you've been told, hey, also, going into this event, not only will they have this monster truck sumo match, they're also going to have a regular wrestling match. And as a viewer, I'm sure you're wondering as well, the two of you are going, he's dead.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, isn't he dead?
He's dead.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch the main event, the closing main event match of Halloween Havoc 1995. I will show you because I do not do it. Does my explaining it is pretty good. I'll pat myself on the back a little bit more. But it is better. Good. It is better to see the visual of it because the Giant acting as he was falling over the ledge, and thus the reaction of everybody else, and how kind of nonchalant they're about it afterwards. So like, we're going to go to more wrestling, I guess. It's worth watching, and it provides a little bit more context, and then we'll watch the actual thing. So if you are listening and you would like to listen to the watch along with us, if you go with us, we're at 1 hour 53 minutes 27 seconds, Halloween Havoc 1995, and then they have we're going to I guess we can actually watch. Disregard, I found a spot where we can do a little bit of both. I don't have to fast forward it. If you go to time code 2 hours 10 minutes 32 seconds, that is what we're going to watch. You can pause this podcast, go watch this, come back and listen to us as we react to it. But me, It's Only Jill, and Mopgarden, we're going to watch this here on the Dork Side of the Ring, and we'll be right back. How's it going there? It is your American dreamer himself, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. It is a pleasure to be here once again. Thank you to Mr. Grumm for allowing me to be here to tell you such things like you should be following the Dork Side of the Ring on the Instagrams, the Twitters, and whatnot at Dork Side Ring. That's right, you can find us there. You can also, if you would like to, Do a little bit of that supporty sporty, which you'll put your money where your love is. If you would like to, it's up to you. But you go to support.grumm.tv. That's right. That's the Patreon for old Mr. Grumm, and that will give him. You will give him some money, and in return, you can get some extra Dork Side content. You can get these episodes early. You get them early, at least a week early. You could also get some more extra content. Like, you know what I hear that's on there? You know what I hear that this got put up there? That Grumm guy, he just put it up there, baby. You know what he just did? He just took episode 2. He took JT Crawford and himself talking about, Sting getting attacked by dogs. Oh, baby. And he told me he got this preview, so we're going to play this preview for you. I do that. That's what I do. That's the power of me, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Go ahead. Play that. Roll that beautiful bean footage, baby. Look at these guys. Those denim shorts. Dude, the denim shorts that man is wearing are so high. They're Nike athletic short high.
He's ahead of the time. That's the 5-inch inseam right there.
That man was ahead of the time, but also woefully in the past at the same time.
Man was wearing the Daisy Dukes. That's right, baby. It's just like that, baby. It's high shorts, baby. I was wearing them Daisy Dukes myself. I could wear a mean pair of Daisy Dukes, but I digress. You go find that on the Patreon. You go support.grumm.tv. That's right. I almost forgot the link there. It's written down here. The old Dusty Rhodes need things written down. I need better reading glasses. So I tell you what, you can also support for free. Continue to do so by listening, sharing the podcast with your friends. Tell your family and your friends about us. Here at the Dork Side of the Ring, if they're wrestling fans especially, they're going to love this shit because they're going to hear about things that they forgot ever happened. It'll be like a traumatic event all over again, like Dusty Rhodes being attacked by the Horsemen, baby. That's right. They put hard times on me, daddy. They put hard times on me, but I put hard times on them once again. That's right. Dork Side of the Ring. Dork Side Ring on Twitter, Instagram. 5-star review on the Apple Podcast Store. That's right, baby. Let's get back to it. The Yeti. I didn't book this shit. We were back here on the Dork Side. Just finished watching the match. I forgot how long that match actually was. Because it like the man fell off of a 5-story building.
Yep.
And was presumed dead. So we were watching it. If you watched long, awesome. If you did not, then that's unfortunate. But we're here to tell you what happened. Me and then Jill and Mop will attempt to provide more insight as only they can. As two non-wrestling fans. As we started, Bobby the Brain Heenan is freaking out, wondering, this man's dead, right? Is he dead? He's got it. Why does nobody know who's going on? Somebody tell me something. And Tony finally's like, just shut up. Shut up. I'm so tired of you right now. He's like a dad on a road trip, and the kid's just like, are we home yet? And he's like, just fucking stop.
Yeah, basically.
Stop, please. I dealt with you for a week. I just want a little silence on the road trip. Just shush. It's like, if only I had some Tylenol I can feed you, and then you go to sleep. Just me? Okay, so I see. I see that I was a problem
I
child.
was thinking like NyQuil or something with Tylenol.
Maybe I need. Look, maybe I was a little bit more of an issue as a child than you. But yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan's freaking out. We see a recap. You guys see the Giant just acting on display. One of the greatest acting performances. He's flailing backwards as he's falling. What did you guys think of his fall off of the building?
That was insane.
Yeah.
Should not be alive.
yeah.
That was intense. I do love like Hulk Hogan's like, I don't know, he like pretended like he was concerned. Oh no! Someone help! I'm just like, he's the same guy that you were supposed to wrestle later. you know,
Yeah.
and you threw him off a building.
Secret happiness, you
Well,
know?
so he comes out. He comes out afterwards. You know, he starts his match. He's just like, "Hey, that wasn't supposed to happen, brothers. Like, that, hey, what you saw, what happened earlier tonight, that wasn't supposed to happen, brothers. Like, just reassuring. He wasn't meaning to kill somebody. I'm sure that would have held up in court.
Yeah, right. It's all recorded.
Mr.
Yeah,
Hogan.
it's all recorded.
Mr. Hogan, how do you plead? Not guilty. All right. What is your opening statement? He was choking me, Your Honor, and it's all self-defense. Like, I didn't
Play the clip.
Play the clip. You'll see here.
Play the clip.
And oh my God! And it's just Amanda Bynes is just like, bring in the dancing lobsters. Not the whole time. He's just. So they have a regular match. Your guys' like first real wrestling match you've ever watched is
pretty much
is the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Thoughts on your first wrestling match that you ever saw?
I mean,
good.
It was intense. Like I said, yes, it was very shiny and aggressive, and the leotards were great. Still surprised that none of them were riding up. Need to learn that pointer. I'm going to be Googling that later.
Same. One piece bikinis or bathing suits or
right.
So that was to be fair, that was two pieces. So it is like
was it two pieces?
So yes, yeah. So
okay.
I
wasn't paying attention well enough, I guess.
So he's got the top is the standard wrestling trunks, like underwear type stuff, but then underneath he's got like a I want to say like a onesie almost.
Oh, okay.
So that it like comes down and I was trying to think of the word, and onesie's it. But it comes down, goes around his groin area, and then he puts the spandex on, the spandex trunks on, and everything stays in place.
Oh, and I left out the mullets. All of the mullets were fantastic.
Yes,
every single one.
I don't think think a single guest yet has not liked the amount of mullets that has been in the 90s, which is great.
I mean, they're
pretty
amazing.
great.
It is, and because they're also just wildly untamed. Like they're not just like,
and the variety. There was such a variety of mullets.
Yeah,
there was a skull. I introduced
it so poofy. Sorry,
they don't use most of them probably didn't use really good conditioner.
Maybe
like my hair gets poofy. If I don't like on like the days I don't like use shampoo and conditioner, like I wash for like so like it gets a little poofy like the next day.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with poofy hair.
Yeah.
Good for me.
A lot of them. So there, I mean, there's been like you said, there's a lot of variety, especially within like professional. You had the mullet, you had your poofy mullets, you had your straight hair mullets,
like Hulk Hogan's.
Well, Hulk Hogan's
straight hair mullet.
It would be if he had more hair on top. He had there was no business in the front, all the party in the back. But yeah, a lot of people like if I'm sure as people are listening to this, I think I may have already gotten the mullet. I might not. I don't know. Look at my Twitter. I am Grumm to know that. But my hair is probably going to look closer to like the poofier mullet because my hair is curlier. So
True.
Mullet. Oh, I'm excited.
True,
Poofy
true.
mullet.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get wait, but is it a skullet?
No.
No.
I am not shaving. I'm not going to shave my head bald, except for like the back of my.
Commit. You have to commit.
No,
Go full Hulk.
I'm not going. No, I'm not going with a skullet. I'm fine. My girlfriend asked me why, like, because I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna finally get a mullet, and she's like, why? I'm like, because it's the prophecy. I was foretold by my uncles that I would bring back, I would one day wear a mullet, and I owe it to them. She goes,
It
what
was
took
foretold by the elders?
What took you so long? I was like, a global pandemic and serious depression because of it. Like, that's what it took. And she's like,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Whatever
fair,
it
that's
takes,
fair.
you know?
Exactly. Mullets, the cost of a mullet is very high. They demand is a lot of respect. But yeah, a lot of
And
mullets.
you're here to
Picture you
supply.
going to the barber being like, "What do you want?" And you're like, "A mullet." And they're like, "Okay. Are you sure?"
Oh, so we've done this song and dance twice now. Of
Nice,
me going,
okay.
getting my hair cut, and she goes, "What do you want?" And I will look at the mirror with 1,000-yard stare. And I go, "What do you think about a mullet?" And my hairstylist, she will go, "Let's see." And then she'll get some pins. She'll pin my hair back. And she's like,
So you can see it.
"Yep." She'd be like, "That's what it would look like."
Yeah.
And I go, "I can't do it. I have a wedding this weekend."
Oh,
And then-
yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
back in like late May, early June. The most recent one was at the beginning of this month. I went, and my friend gave me the okay to wear a mullet at his wedding. In fact, so did his bride, which is probably more important. She said it was okay for me to have a mullet. This way, somebody would have a mullet there, because he talked about having a mullet for his own wedding, and she's going, no. But
I love that.
my girlfriend is a maid of honor for her friend's wedding in like 2 weeks from now as we're recording this, and I wanted to have the mullet for like at least a month and a half, 2 months. So I told her I would not get a mullet for that wedding. I would have my hair looking presentable. Unfortunately for her and my mother, I will have a holiday mullet. Nothing anybody can do about it.
So good.
The Christmas mullet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it for Thanksgiving. I'll have it for Christmas,
So-
New Year's. Yep.
So when your
I love
hairstylist pins your hair back this time, right?
Yes.
And you're committing, right? And there's that long pause when she goes, "What do you think?" Are you just gonna dead stare in the mirror and just go, "I'm home," and then she'll just
I might now. I was gonna say I have like the Doctor Strange from Marvel. My head's like going all over. I'm seeing every possible scenario of whether or not it's a good idea. It's like, yeah, you know what? It's gonna be, and I'll just be like, do it. I'll be like either Darth Sidious or the kid who is the mom is like holding a spray bottle at his face, and he's like, do it,
do it.
just do it, do it. That'll be me. I'll have a mullet, much like at least 80% of the men in that audience had a mullet, even the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. It was
Absolutely.
fantastic.
I think I saw some of the women have one too. So
That's just big. Look, the 90s was big hair. This is like watching back some of this stuff. Nobody believed in conditioner. Nobody believed in wetting their hair before they went out to the ring. Which I feel like I would want my hair wet because it would just get all over the place when it gets sweaty.
Is that a thing? They wet their hair before they wrestle?
Most wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers nowadays will.
Oh.
They'll wet their hair so that when they're wrestling, it doesn't get like stuck to like their face. I feel like I should say a lot of the guys do it. Not a lot of the women wrestlers do.
Huh. I feel like the women wrestlers are
I feel
probably
like-
like trying to be hot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
right.
don't know
So
if
they
that's
like
true.
do up their hair or whatever.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
used to, sure, but like now, since I want to say 2015, 2016, like a lot of the female wrestlers are like, no, we're wrestlers, like
We're not like models.
no, yeah, like a lot of them, like
Yeah.
like it is like, yeah, we're hot because we're athletic and we do this and we have to work on our bodies by nature of the business, but like we're wrestlers, we're not here to be models.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll do
Makes
the occasional photo shoot of our bodies, but like, it's they're taken more seriously as competitors, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace because it's like, good, now everybody
Yeah.
who's watching can be like, yeah, I can do that.
I like that. Yeah.
I don't have to be 5'10", blonde with double D's and a big butt.
Huge. fake titties and big fake ass.
Some of them were
Yeah.
real, okay? Some of those titties were real, all right? Okay?
How do you know?
No comment. Anyways, so back to the match.
Just derailed so much.
Speaking of big fake titties, yeah, I got nothing for that segue. No, so the match happens. A man who was presumed dead not 10 minutes before the match comes out and is alive and well, and Hulk Hogan's like, what the fuck? Hulk Hogan's making weird faces towards the camera. He knows where the money is. He's like, let me get this shot. Let me make sure I know where the camera is. Always know where the camera is. And they wrestle the match. Hulk Hogan takes off his bandana to show that it's the dark side of Hogan, because he's got the same like markings as Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, does, and they're like, oh my god, he's a darker. He's going to the dark side to battle the Giant. And they have just a standard Hulk Hogan versus another big guy wrestling match. There's not a lot of falling until there is. Hogan close
A little bit of cheating. A little bit of cheating.
A little bit.
Eye poking, hair pulling, biting. Not okay.
Yeah. Well, the hair pulling and the biting were while Hogan was in the warm embrace of the Giant.
True.
Also, what did you guys think about the amount of baby oil that was used prior?
So much.
So
So
shiny. So shiny.
How do you even grip them if they're so slippery?
I mean,
Wouldn't they be slippery?
I mean, yeah. But also,
No, they never caught greased up deaf guy in Family Guy. How are they wrestling with all that baby oil on? I don't get it.
So that's why, when they would throw, they Irish whip, what they call as Irish whipping was when they pull them by the arm and throw them into a corner or throw them against the rope. That's why they always grab the back of the neck too, because it's easier to grip that, and you throw them. It's also a cooperative thing. So you're not trying to not get thrown, so your arm's going with them at the same rate that they're pulling you. So
yeah, that's true.
You don't slip.
Yeah,
you don't slip as much. Let's see, what other things happened during the match that stood out to the two of you?
Well, like we both had mentioned, the no riding up that's just so shocking to me. But also the amount of flexibility is unreal.
Yes.
Like watching the Giant lift his leg that high to put it in Hulk Hogan's neck, I think is where he put it, was impressive. That was very impressive. I don't think I can do that right now.
Yeah, seriously. I was shocked that whoever hit the ref in the face. That was a neat twist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, knocked. What? I can't remember what his name is. The manager.
Yeah.
That was a neat twist. Yeah, crazy.
That's pretty much it. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Everything that was jaw dropping was near the end of it. Everyone else ran in.
Yeah. The Mummy. Oh yeah, the Mummy gyrating was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that is the crux of the episode today, which is the Yeti appearance. The Yeti's appearance. So as the match concludes, Hulk Hogan is has fallen victim to many bear hugs by one what's his face? The Yeti, or not by the Yeti, by the Giant. Sorry. And the match concludes. Hulk Hogan comes out, or the Hulk Hogan's on top. Sorry, I got a message that my storage was low, and I'm like, oh no, but we should be good. Actually. I got scared. I'm like, oh no, did we go for an hour and 14 minutes? I'm gonna have to switch stuff up, but we should be good. Oh wait, hold on. I'll take this out. I'm sure I'll take this out.
All good.
I'm sure I'll take this
all
out.
good.
Fine.
Edit it out. Edit it out.
Get it out. Get it out. Get it out.
Now I can finally say boobies.
Boobies,
I
butts.
was holding that in for so long.
You can say what? You can say everything's
Boobies.
Boobies. Okay, I'm good.
all right. Okay, we're good there. We'll find out when I'm done recording, I guess. Anyways, so boobies and the.
So wait. So you're telling me that this entire time I could have been like, the fact that one of the most shocking things, aside from the leotard thingy that he was wearing riding up, was the fact that the Giant's balls never fell out of the front pocket.
So true.
Yeah, we're a. It's my podcast. The fuck you think?
I could have said that the whole. Okay, well then I am shocked. That is nut stating there. I am so shocked. I was expecting at least one ball to fall out at one point during all of that.
I don't want to say that the trick, but I know there has been wrestlers in the past that would tape their balls to their legs.
I was just about to ask, did he tape it? Did he tape it in?
Yeah.
Or did he put it
That
like a
makes
little
sense.
sock around the whole thing and then just keep it there?
Okay, hold on. Before we go further into this conversation, because we will dive into this. Y'all thought I was a clean podcast?
I don't know. I never asked.
I never asked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know whether I should feel honored that you guys were respectful of the platform, or insulted that you thought I would run a clean platform. Like, the fuck? Absolutely.
You never know. You never know.
That is. Look, it's always better to hedge your bet on it being clean. But yeah, no. This is not. This is explicit. This is an explicit podcast. I put on every episode. It's tagged as explicit because
Fair.
I just don't. Because it's like for Mop on your podcast, like you're like, all right, like this. I'm like, okay, we gotta be PG-13. No fucks. Maybe a little shit here.
Fuck.
Maybe a little shit here and there.
And it's just, those people that like they talk and they're like, I just fucking want to go to the fucking store and get some fucking Cheetos. And
So you get like a
fucking eat
fuck
them
every
all.
hour. On, like, a
Yeah,
cleaner.
yeah,
You get one fuck.
You get one fuck every half hour. There's, so you're good.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you're lucky, if you're like me and you just have a really good conversation and Mop realizes that you've gone an hour and 20 minutes because you guys have just been talking for the last 10 minutes before and 10 minutes past. I was like, oh wow, look at that. Yeah.
So now I know what if like when I go on Mops, like to not just immediately be like fuckity fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, it's
No,
fine.
not right away. Warm up to when like you look at it and you're like, all right, we've been going for about 55 minutes. Let me test the waters here.
Yeah.
Got 5 more. We fucking got 5 more fucking minutes. Goddamn fuck yeah. Like that's where you're just like, where you're like, oh shit, I guess we have to. And then that's where
Did
like,
you not,
Mom's like, yeah.
Like you didn't hear me say frickin' earlier? I thought you totally would have been like,
I
did Jill
don't
just say
no,
frickin'?
No, because here's the thing. I've noticed. I have no, and it might just because whenever I'm able to catch your stream lately, it has been it's a charity stream, so like you're a little bit more family friendly, I would say is a term. Kind of.
There's 2 charity streams I do religiously every year, and they don't give a shit if I
no,
swear.
but it's I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the. There was something. It was something. It might have been like there was a dev there. And I might have just been at a point where you're just like,
it might have been like a sponsored game type deal because I try not to because I know they're going to use the footage for things.
Yeah.
So I try my best to not say terrible things, which is
That's true.
Such a hard task for me.
I feel you.
But yes, the Giants' balls did not fall out of the.
They did not. I was shocked.
Impressive.
Yeah, that's definitely going. That's definitely going into like. Hey,
I didn't see one ball or one full ass cheek that whole time. I was shocked.
Most
I was disappointed, to be honest.
Mop, don't worry, I'll send you some links. All right. But no, surprisingly, that doesn't happen a lot in professional wrestling with the guys. With the girls, it happens a little bit more frequently, for obvious reasons.
Like nip slips.
Nip slips, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, so those two, it wouldn't have happened to those two because neither of them really do moves that like where they grab the backside. but like you'll get the occasional like guy tries to, like a guy like grabs the tights to like get extra leverage on a pin, so like but their legs are up, so you might see the top of a butt, or in some cases. A guy trying to climb out of a steel cage to win the match, and he gets grabbed by the top of his trunks, and they pull back, and you see a whole ass.
Oh.
Also,
Wow.
a lot of
Makes
wrestlers. Also, a lot of wrestlers wear thongs, or used to. I don't know if they still do,
Ah,
because it
Interesting.
keeps the boys in.
I mean, who?
Yeah.
What was the bubbly butt guy?
Lex Luger.
He came out. He had some like he had like a cheeky thing going on. Like it wasn't full butt cheek, like the giant like cover and everything. He had like a little cheeky thing going on, but
Yeah, he did.
like a thong would be very interesting.
I'm trying to think of what wrestlers. Ric Flair had it happen to him once. There's been wrestlers in the past where like there was a wardrobe malfunction and they literally ripped their, like I think the most recent one I can think of is AJ Styles, who wears long trunks, so like pants almost. Had a rip in his ass. So
Oh my God.
So you just see.
Oh wow.
You see butt meat there, but you don't see it. You know, no
Butt
crack,
meat.
no crack or anything. It's just butt meat. You know, it's just ass meat,
There.
and it's like, oh, you're like, ha, look, he's got a hole in his trunks, and he's just like, the whole time he was talking about it, he's just like, the whole time I just didn't want it to get any bigger, because if it got any bigger, we were in trouble, because it's going either to my ass crack or it's going underneath.
Oh my gosh.
But there is a story. There was a professional wrestler. He was kind of brought in for like one night to work like a untelevised match, and he's wrestling in front of the crowd, and they're wrestling, and his the way the trunks are made, they're sewed at the at the taint basically. So
That makes sense.
this guy's trunks broke at the seams.
Oh no.
So, and he was not wearing a thong that day. So
Ooh.
whole kibbles and bits and everything was hanging out.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Old
yep.
school TV, man.
Jeez. Yeah, right.
This wasn't that old school. This was maybe 2007, 2008.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
It's untelevised though, so it didn't really happen. But there are
okay.
there are other times where a wrestler shit himself on television.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
no.
Well, if you think about it, there's a lot going on with your body, and you're at one time during a match. Like you're getting tossed up, you have to
Yeah.
rotate your body, make sure you're landing in the right spot, and maybe you land hard on your butt and you let go a little bit, and you go a little shit.
Oh my God.
You just hope you're not wearing
Oh.
white tights at the time.
What were they wearing?
They were wearing white tights at the time in this.
Oh no.
You just hope you're not, but this
Yeah.
guy was, so.
Another
Oh, no.
instance of it, 1992, 91, 92. A manager by the name of Colonel Robert Parker, who dressed like an American plantation owner, who that's just a whole nother story.
Yeah.
He so all white jacket, white vest, white tie, white pants. Got into a match to like help his team gain the advantage, and he got dropped and shit himself. And you just see this giant brown stain on his ass.
Oh
Ah.
my God.
And they're
Do they try to like play it off?
I
Or are
mean,
they just like, oh no.
I mean,
fuck
it's
myself.
it's hard to play it off. Like there you go. Like all right. Like I feel like we've all had moments. All right, I'll be the one here. I have had moments where I thought it was a fart, a little bit extra, a little extra stink on it. We've all been there as children, as adults, You just kind of be like you're already uncomfortable, right? And that's like at school or at home or at like a party or something like that. Like, can you imagine being in front of
Yeah.
like 15,000 people in white pants going,
oh my god.
They can definitely see the shit in my pants.
Hey, Grumm.
Yes.
What happens when we have to pee? I have to pee.
You gotta pee? Go ahead. Go to the bathroom. Me and Mop can chop it up. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, my bladder, I go all the time.
All the time. Don't.
Same.
It's all right. Don't listen to her. She's pooping. Actually,
Yeah.
you know
All this poop talk reminded her she had to poop.
Yeah. Jill has to poop. Also, I just remembered Jill probably has her headphones on, so they're wireless, so she can hear us talking, which is great. So we can ask her for input on some of the stuff. But yeah, no, like there's also Vince McMahon is not immune to this. There was one time Vince McMahon is an interesting character in professional wrestling and in the world because he's like done a lot of shit that he probably should have been canceled for, like legitimately, like he should not be. He has been on live television saying the N-word.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like saying it for the fact of like, oh, like here I this and that, and it's just like as like it, with he has the weird like, and a lot of people like get a like. I feel like people give him a pass, and other wrestlers who do some shit, because it's like, well, you can do that in like Mad Men. A character can say that and it's like, but they also, it's like
but
a weird.
You're also not like wrestling right now.
Yeah, you're. This isn't Mad Men though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And other stuff. There's been sexual assault cases. There's been the way he treats his employee. He's a bad. The problem is Vince McMahon probably rents out hell to the devil, so he's not going to hell anytime soon, and he certainly is not going to heaven. So like he's just allowed to live.
Jeez.
But one time, he was around this time, like a lot of people would just fart in like right before they go outside or go out to the ring, and
like on purpose.
They'd let one out and then they just leave. Right? It's like a kind of like a practical joke on the people that were there. They would just rip ass and walk and go to the ring. So Vince McMahon, having to go to the ring, tempted to rip ass, but shit himself.
Oh my god.
And had to go out on live television with a poop butt.
Having just pooped.
Just pooped himself. But
you know what? I'm glad that happened to him. If he's a piece of shit.
Exactly. Like at the very least, he's also torn his quads walking, so that's funny.
Oh my god.
yeah.
That's crazy. That sounds like something I would do.
It's like as they're walking out, they would just like crop dust the crowd.
No, they cropped us. So there's right before you go onto the top of the stage and come out from the curtain. It's called the gorilla position, named after a wrestler, Gorilla Monsoon, who would used to sit there for shows and like watch the television and like kind of help direct and everything. So right before you go out into the thing, you would go to gorilla position. Well, people would rip ass in the gorilla position, and then go out to the ring. So effectively, they're crop dusting Vince McMahon and any producers that are around there.
Wow.
And Vince McMahon just being the every alpha male wishes they could be Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon literally is just like he just does what he wants to do because he's rich and has a weird power dynamic with people where they're like, I love Vince. He's let me live my dream. He's paid me a lot of money, and I owe my kids to him, my beautiful wife, and it's this weird dynamic. But he is just objectively a bad person. And like he's just the kind of guy where like you could rip ass and he'd be like, ha, that's a good one, pal. So he's just a weird dude.
Oh
Hilarious.
man!
But yeah, no ball sack or butt cheek from the Giant. And he's got a lot of leg, a lot of body meat on that man.
There is a lot of meat on that man. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Before we continue, are there any other questions you would have liked to ask that you thought you couldn't ask because of the rating of the?
That's it. That's all.
Just the ball sack falling out.
Ball sacks and fuck. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Glad we got that covered. So, so at the end of the match, Hulk Hogan mounts his comeback. He drops the big leg drop. He's about to win, and Jimmy Hart turns his back on his friend and client, I guess, Hulk Hogan. He nails the referee with the title belt. The referee goes flying. Hogan's like, "What the fuck? Like, I dropped a leg. 1, 2, 3. I win. Jimmy, what the hell's going on?" Jimmy's like, "Oh, hey, I don't know, Hulk. I don't know. Here, let me help him up for you." And they get him up, and he's like, "You got him, Jimmy?" He's like, "Yeah, I got him." And he just throws the fucking referee with reckless. He just pushes him, shoves him to the entire opposite side of the ring, hits Hulk Hogan with the title belt. Hulk Hogan gets up immediately, is angry, then gets choke slammed or gets bear hugged, and he's losing consciousness. And then the Kevin Sullivan's like, yeah, just beating up on him. And then, Macho Man and Lex Luger both come out. And at the time, they're both presumed to be friends of Hulk Hogan. But for some reason, they come out together, even though they had a match with each other. That literally like 10 minutes before this. It's a very weird from a storytelling perspective of like, why is Macho Man and Lex Luger coming to help? We kind of already know Lex Luger is not on Hulk Hogan's side. Like they told the story of him just being associated with like Dungeon of Doom guys. He's like, "Why are you hanging out with them?" He's like, "What do you mean? I like them. I'm not Dungeon of Doom. They're just like friends." And he's like, "You're friends with the Giant." He goes, He's an okay guy, It's like he snapped the man's neck, Lex. That's between them, I don't like to get in between people, Very very reminiscent of like the worst parts of like high school and like just working a job and Twitch of like, I don't want to get it. It doesn't involve me. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to stop them. That's between them.
So that's a them problem.
That's a them. Look, I understand that, he tried to kill him multiple times. That's got nothing. He didn't try killing me, and we're still friends, So like, hey man, like I can be friends with other people. But yeah, and then the Dungeon of Doom comes down in the form of the Yeti, not the Yeti, not the Mummy.
The Yeti.
The Yeti. There is the Yeti, who is supposed to be, as advertised, all white Bigfoot from the snowy mountains of the Everest, and he is anything but that.
But looks just like a mummified person.
Yes.
Yeah. Covered in
slightly confusing. But
yeah. We're watching it. You're like, "Oh, guy, look, it's a mummy." I'm like, "No, it's the Yeti, guys. Like that's what the announcer said. It's the Yeti." And you're like, "The Yeti? Like really? Yes, really."
Hilarious.
It is. So the wrestler portraying the Yeti is Ron Reese, who is just a large human being. Now works in finances and stock market stuff. No way. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. I know. Well, I should say he's big into the stonks. He will message. Okay. I have a friend from a separate community Discord, and he's actually been on this podcast and he's talked about this episode 2. Crawford. He talked about his budding friendship with the Yeti, Ron Reese, who is big into stonks and will message my friend Crawford and go, what stonks are we going into today?
Oh my gosh.
This is a roughly 40-something, 50-year-old man, big into stonks.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's
and I'm like, this is that's hilarious to me.
Such a weird career change.
Yeah, right.
Like a lot of wrestlers get into real estate, like being a realtor, because you get to work at your own hours and you're your own boss for the most part.
Makes sense.
Also, if you're a wrestler, you kind of leverage some of your like wrestling fame, and you're like, yeah, here, I'll sign an autograph or two. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah,
I normally
totally would as well.
I normally charge for this, but this one's on the house. And it's like, oh. So, real estate and what's What's the other one a lot of like to get into? A lot of them like to get into farming too. But that's
What?
well, you think about it.
Yeah, professional wrestler, and now I just got to make sure that tomato yield is good this year.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, get into livestock.
Interesting.
Got to check on my goats and my cows.
Huh.
I think it's just the culture of professional wrestling of just like, yeah, that's what, a lot of professional wrestlers did before they were, they would, because a lot of them would come from like Texas or Florida, like Minnesota. They would just come from these rural areas and they're like, yeah, I'm just farm strong and now I'm a professional wrestler. Look at me. And they just go back to doing what they were doing before. But yeah, the Yeti comes out covered, wearing a white tank top and white sweatpants, I think. And then they filled the rest with gauze. They just covered him in gauze and fake blood, I guess. I don't know why they. I don't know what the thought process was. Like, I can only imagine that there was a copyright issue as to why they couldn't call it the Mummy.
Yeah. That makes
Right?
sense.
Maybe.
But at the same
And do like the mummy.
the Mummy.
The mummy.
But like I don't understand, like, because that wasn't like so the Monday before this event, they hyped up that the Yeti would be coming and would soon be a member of the Dungeon of Doom, and he was in this block of ice, and the block of ice broke, and you saw this that was the Mummy. He was dressed up the exact same way. But because it was only like a second or two, you don't really see like what he really looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see what he looks like, he just looks like a mummy. But they're calling him a Yeti. He's got the gauze wrapping on his hands. He's wearing white mitts. Like, it is
Grumm, it is Yeti.
Sorry, the Yeti. It's the Yeti.
That drives me crazy. Why?
Because anyway. I think what happened was when they announced that the Yeti would debut, the guy said the Yeti, right? So they're thinking, like the announcers like, we've called it the Yeti, even though it probably should be the Yeti, but we'll call him the Yeti. It's the Yeti,
One person messed it up for everyone.
Basically,
yeah.
I mean, really, that's like kind of like a lot of what happened in wrestling in like the 90s, which is somebody would fuck something up, and then you'd have to stick with it until eventually you're just like, all right, let's fix this fuck up,
Yeah.
But the Yeti
Still dealing with it years later.
yeah. The Yeti comes down. Hulk Hogan is in the grasps of the giant. He is hugging him, bear hugging him, caressing him. This is where it got kinky earlier in the match. There was hair pulling and biting. We here at the Dork side, we don't kink shame. If that's what you're into.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Exactly. As long as it's not non-consensually hurting somebody, But the Yeti comes down and proceeds to have a prom dance with the giant, with the Hulk Hogan in between them. He's got his arms around the shoulders and the back of the neck of the giant, and then proceeds to just gyrate on Hulk Hogan's body.
That was yeah.
I
love
can't
gyrate.
He's like
So good to describe that.
That's like he just shakes his whole body and like
shakes his whole body with a slow pulsating.
yeah, there's a little there's the occasion. It's definitely like watching like a 13-year-old me dance again. That's definitely what it seems like.
That's like watching a me right now dance.
I was giving myself a little bit more credit, but I'm sure I also look similar to it. But yeah, no, they're just it's so and it goes on for so long. Like at no point did one of them would go like, all right, that's enough. Like they're just like, yeah, they're just going, and like you could tell the Yeti runs out of steam, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't do I just keep pumping him? Like do I just keep? Are you enjoying it?
Is this good for you?
Are you almost? Are you gonna come? Are you good? Like you're almost there?
Oh
boy, horror stories. I'm sure many of us.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the and then they just beat up on him a little bit more. They beat up on Hulk Hogan, or they beat up on Randy Savage, and they leave them both laying. They leave with the title, even though Michael Buffer, the ring announcer, is saying, "No, title can't change hands that way. That's not how it works." Like he's not the champion. Everybody, he's walking out with the title. He is not the champion. He is not the champion. He is not. I'm not going to stop him. Do you have a gun for me to stop him? I'll stop him if you give me a gun, but I'm not sure if I can stop him because this motherfucker fell 5 stories 20 minutes ago and somehow whooped the fucking ass of Hulk Hogan.
As well as a few other people.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It is. It was. At this point, you got to think the Giant's immortal and cannot be killed. All because
I don't think I know.
You sure? Do you want them to go? Do you want them to, like, I don't know, throw him out of a fucking plane or something?
He'd be fine.
He probably would be.
He'd survive.
Yeah.
I just can't, like that. Like, this is a year later. By the way, for more context, a year later, Hulk Hogan turns his back on WCW, drops the hokey shit, and he becomes more like of a realistic human being, and is the hottest act in professional wrestling.
Oh.
And the Giant is on his team. Like, the Giant turns his back on WCW and joins up with Hulk Hogan. So a year later, after this blood feud where the Giant attempted to murder Hulk Hogan twice by breaking his neck, and was almost killed by, as a result of Hulk Hogan defending himself. Just doesn't. It makes no sense, but nobody questions it because it was a lot of fun to watch. Because you're like, what the fuck's happening? Hulk Hogan's a bad guy.
So much drama and relationship stuff when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
That I was like completely unaware of.
I wonder, like, where this comes from. Like, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So, like, family, like, are their families fighting? Like,
oh,
do they
you mean
not like each other? You know what I mean?
They're all in it to make money. I mean, some of them, there's been cases where people legitimately blur the lines of reality, where they're like,
Right.
oh, these guys actually hate each other. There was an infamous version of it is Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels they were kind of like professional jealousy, and then it turned professional animosity turned into personal animosity, where Shawn Michaels, who had many issues with substance and other things,
Fair.
also had a problem with being faithful to women. Yeah. Although he never really found himself in a faithful relationship in the first place, he just, there's a rumor that's never been, followed up, but it's been said that he invited 3 different women to his hotel room. They all show up, and they all think they're going to perform a certain act on their knees, and he pisses on them.
Oh God! No, thank you.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Hard
Jesus.
pass.
Yeah, they call him the Heartbreak Kid. They probably should have called him something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Jeez.
the piss.
I don't know.
Piss break. The piss break.
The golden
kid.
shower guy. I don't know.
But versus Bret Hart, who is very squeaky clean. He does everything right. He was raised to be a professional, like in a professional wrestling family and all this. And it, like, the peak of it as a personal animosity, was Bret Hart was in the ring giving talking to the fans. He's a bad guy at this point. He's anti-America, pro-Canada. And Shawn Michaels is like, you've been having some sunny days, implying that Bret Hart had been sleeping with a female wrestler by the name of Sunny, which his wife immediately called, like fucking as soon as the show was over, blasting his hotel room number, like wanting him to, yeah, and like did not believe him when he was like, no, like Shawn Michaels is lying. So like, rightfully he did not like Shawn Michaels. There's another incident where Matt Hardy and Lita were a couple, and they were like everybody's favorite couple. They're like, oh my god, look at them, like they're the couple. So they were members of Team Extreme. Lita was this kind of anti-culture female wrestling superstar where like every other female is like blonde hair, big boobs, model, and she's like dark hair, wearing cargo pants, her thongs hanging out, she's just hot. she doesn't care. She just does her own shit. Like she flips on people. She tough as nails, and like she just goes against everything that is going on with like professional wrestling. Like she's not blonde. She's athletic. Like she's jumping off the top rope. She's actually getting in there. And Matt Hardy's her boyfriend, and he's in Team Extreme, and he jumps off ladders and shit. So people love him. Well, he gets fired, or he gets injured, then gets fired, and along the way, Lita has a friend who starts talking to one of Matt Hardy's friends, Edge, and next thing you know, they're a couple, and it gets out that they're kind of a couple. And this is like the infancy of the internet. So like Matt Hardy is going on to like an Angel Fire website of his and uploading a video and going like, Lita is fucking Edge, and like everybody's like, boo him, bad, no, how could he come between our favorite couple, because wrestling fans are at their core just ship artists.
Ship art. Oh, I
Like,
got you.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, there's so many like relationship drama. My head is spinning at like
pro wrestling.
What is going on right now?
Pro wrestling is Shakespearean storytelling with soap opera drama mixed with Hollywood action scenes.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Amazing.
It is.
Yeah,
It's just like, even when it's bad, it's like that was what we watched was not terrible, but like, the Yeti is hilarious because he's not a Yeti, he's a fucking mummy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Edge and the Matt Hardy thing, it leads to a Matt Hardy literally like trespasses his way into getting a contract. Like he shows up when they have at a Monday Night Raw taping, and like he jumps the barricade and beats up Edge. Like he is that legitimately mad in real life that he is like committing trespassing. He's getting charged with trespassing, and they're like, look, you can't keep doing this, so here's what we're gonna do.
Wow.
We're gonna give you a job. And he's like, I'm only getting a job if I can legitimately fight that motherfucker. And they're like, I don't. All right, I guess, yeah, all right. Like,
I guess so, man.
We can't keep having you fucking interrupting our shit. So they kind of have a legit fight, kind of. Edge fucking cold cocks him, and the match is over. Like, the ref was instructed, like, hey, the second one of them goes down for more than a second and shows, like, end that match. You ring that fucking bell. And he's like, okay. And that happened, and, it's just like, after that, they shook hands, and they're like, all right. I'm like, yeah, of course he shook hands. The guy who took his girl also beat him up on pay-per-view. Like, I would shake that man's hand too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just got punked
God.
in front of people, in front of 1 million people paying to watch this.
I just got punked.
I just got bugged.
Like, it's just,
Funny.
I'm like, hey, I should just count my blessings. I have a job again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's wrestling.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
it's just drama, relationships,
So much drama.
Love it.
and yet it's beautiful. I love it.
I mean,
It's a beautiful
naturally, or else
thing.
you wouldn't have a podcast about it, right?
This is true. I also love my friends. That's why I combined the two.
Aww. It's the
Aw.
best.
It's the best.
So, Jill, when is your
Best.
Jill? Speaking of podcasts, Jill, when's your podcast? Me and Mop have one.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm not gonna have a podcast. My stream is basically my own podcast.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
true.
lot of extra like stuff, you know.
There's a lot of talking
To
and
do.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know, because like if I did have a podcast, like if you have a podcast, it's usually about something that you're passionate about, or you like um partner up with someone that you can usually like bounce ideas off of, which is like great. But like if I was, the only thing like I'm super passionate about is that I can think off the top of my head right now is like video games, which
Mhm.
I just talk about that during my stream anyway. So why have a podcast about video games when I
Fair.
already talk about video games?
Diversify your
stream.
content. Have multiple
I mean,
things.
I guess so.
What happens if your stream goes away tomorrow? What if somebody comes by and they just go, you know what?
I
This
don't
is
know.
mine
Guess I'm going to YouTube.
now. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yo, by the way, YouTube, pay both of these people. Fantastic
right?
women. Pay them
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Fucking back the truck up, damn it. But yeah, no. You don't have to do a podcast, Jill. You're doing just
No,
fine.
I know. You were just, I know.
I
I know you, Grumm. I know.
I was doing a bit. It was just a bit.
I was saying you're just doing the bit. I went along with the bit.
That's good job. So yeah, so after watching that, the first time really watching wrestling for the both of you guys, likelihood that you'll ever watch wrestling again. That's the kind of answer I thought I would get.
And I mean, no disrespect, but probably never.
That's fine. That's fine. I forget. I don't know why.
The likelihood is very small.
Well, so the
Yeah.
reason why I ask is like the last year or so I've been introducing people to, wrestling, like current day stuff, and they're like, "Wow, this is a lot of fun. Why wasn't I watching this before?" And I'm like, I don't know. I got no but it's I'm showing you the worst of professional wrestling that's fun to make fun of. Like we sat here and talked 20 minutes about the Giant's ball sack not falling out of his trunk. And it's just like, yeah, no, I did not expect that. I just think it's just funny to be like, all right, hey, like what's the likelihood, like after watching this, did this spark any interest in going like, I also want to see what the good stuff looks like? But obviously that's not the case here. And that's
I
quite
just
okay.
don't like, it's nothing against wrestling. I just don't like watch anything really, like in like sports or any of that kind of stuff, you know?
I don't watch a lot of sports-based stuff. Like I occasionally, like I'll watch, I like to watch things live. I think it's much more fun. Like if you actually go to a baseball game, not that we've been able to do any of that but like live, sure. Like if someone came to me tomorrow and was like, "Yo, Jill, I got 2 tickets to a wrestling match," I'd be like, "Well, fucking let's go."
Yeah.
But like
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, like it. But if it's just like I'll watch like a hockey game or I'll watch like the Super Bowl. But aside from that, I don't really watch too much sport related stuff on TV.
Gotcha. No, that's fine. It's like I don't, outside of wrestling, I'm at the point where like it's just basketball for me. But yeah, live wrestling is so much fun. Cause like, could you imagine the Yeti coming out when you're there live and you're like, oh, it's the Mummy, and you don't know it's the Yeti. You think it's an actual.
It's the Yeti.
It's the Mummy.
Because if you see it in person, I could see all the ball slips, the butt cracks coming out. I could see the pants ripping.
Jill, just go to a strip club.
Pants.
Just go to a sleazy male strip club. What are you much cheaper.
Yeah, but
it's more personable.
Like, hold on, it's like when people watch a hockey game or like a race, right? Like you go and you're like, a part of me hopes that somebody crashes but nobody gets hurt, and a part of me hopes that someone rips off their gloves and helmets and starts punching each other. Like there's like a small part of you where you're like, I hope something goes wrong because it's not supposed to go wrong, but when it does, it's like iconic and crazy and exciting. Whereas like, sure, I could put on some UFC. It's like, but that's all they're doing is punching each other.
Yeah. I want to see someone poop their pants.
Yeah. Right, because they wouldn't put that on TV, but you could see there's no way to unsee it in person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't edit it out.
Yeah, no, this is true. I mean, you could, but you can't. I mean, they have so many angles of cameras that could probably do a pretty good job of hiding somebody walking around with a diaper full of poop in their butt. Walking around looking like Tommy Pickles.
Oh my god.
But see, the cool thing about wrestling, like, so all the wrestlers back then all had like muscles and mullets, and did not deviate too much in terms of looks. And I feel like nowadays, it like I'm Jill. There is a woman who has your aesthetic down to a T, and she 100% is the type where I'm like, yeah, no, she can step on me. She could absolutely step on me. So I'm just like, yeah, no, like it's just like, but there's also a guy who wears basically a Thanos glove and lords over the entire company. There's a guy who claims to be basically a demigod. In terms of like, just he's like, I'm so good. I'm half of a god. There's a woman who has a possessed doll thing going on. But then you also have just people who are just like themselves cranked up to 10 or 11, and it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. Whereas like in the 90s, you kind of had that, but it was hokier. And you get the mummy, the Yeti.
That makes sense.
The Yeti. The Yeti. I feel like a part of me is just like, they just wanted to put like a little swirl on the end of that to make it seem a little bit more exotic. Like, it's not a Yeti, it's the Yeti.
You think they did the
but it's also not a Yeti either, though.
I know. I know. It doesn't make any sense either way, but
I showed Jedi and Slayer it when we recorded. I wanted to be like, this is where like the rest of the night went, because I told him that there was a title match between these two guys, and like, but one of them died. I said, yeah, I know. They still had a match later that night. He's like, what the fuck? And I explained the Yeti, and I'm like, wouldn't it just been better if they just got a big hairy white guy and just called him the Yeti?
Yeah. Like bleached out like white hair. Because I feel like it would be a little difficult to find like someone that has like that albino condition that's like 6'5" or whatever. I feel like that would be kind of difficult. But you got just a huge white guy and bleached out his hair white. I feel like
we should get Citra
that could have been fine.
We should get Citra to do that. He's got more body hair than me, so like.
No, I think I should just get him to shave his head. Then he'll look like that meme that's popping up everywhere.
That works too.
Meme.
So
you haven't seen the meme?
Oh,
Mob hasn't seen the meme.
Mob hasn't.
What?
Let me see if I can grab this for you, Mob, while we're talking.
My gosh.
No, it's
It's a reoccurring thing. So there's a filter on Snapchat that makes you bald. So I took a picture of Citra with this filter on while we were in Toronto one year, and he thought it was hilarious. It sent it to his dad and was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny." I sent it to Rob because I was like, or no, he posted on Twitter and tried to get people to think that he shaved his head. Some people fell for it. Other people like Rob and whatever were like, Citra wouldn't shave his head. Like, what? But now Rob uses that picture on everything, and it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that.
There we go. I sent you the unedited version of it. It's in the
oh my god.
It's a very good filter.
So now like it's a little convincing. If you saw that at first glance, you'd be like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You should also make him go bald. Bleaches all of his body hair and make him go bald.
But I told him, I was like, wow, you are a lucky piece of shit. And he's like, wait, why? And I'm just like, because you look good bald. If you lost all your hair tomorrow, you'd be fine. You look good bald. Yeah.
It's so true.
He's got to have
Some
the beard.
Some people can't pull it off.
Yeah, he's got to keep the beard. If he didn't have a beard and he was bald, I think he'd just be an egg.
You know what? You really have to get him to do the Hulk Hogan. You got to let him grow his hair out, a little bit, let it curl up, and just get the top, just shave
that's
the
like,
top.
Would be great.
I tell him, like, whenever he's like, oh, I just want to clean up my beard a little bit. I was like, you gotta have some fun. If you're gonna like get rid of how big it is, like you gotta, do the sides first, and then you just keep the middle all bushy. Like you got like if he was gonna shave his head, I'd be like, okay, you gotta do the middle first.
I agree.
You gotta do the middle first. Keep that for a few minutes just so we can laugh at it.
If I could grow facial hair, I would always have fun facial hair. There would not be just a
Same.
mustache or something. It would be like
Handlebar,
always done. Yeah. 100%.
Or like what is it when you do the handlebar, but you make it really, really long and then put
Fu
beads on
Manchu.
it? No, that's a Fu Manchu. That's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, I see. I do that.
You say that. You don't realize how much it is to maintain this facial hair. Like,
I mean,
I guess so.
Grumm.
Yeah.
You
What?
realize you are talking to women that style their hair, do their hair, shave,
okay.
put on makeup.
All right, so
I think
the only
if I was
thing,
a dude.
the only thing I don't do, the only thing I don't do is put on makeup, and that's for now. I might start putting on some like foundation, make myself look a little like contoured.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
look
it.
a little good. Really accentuate my cheekbones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little bit of blush, just right at the top of the cheekbone there.
I don't know about that much. That's a little.
No. I don't mean like bright red. I'm not talking like like an old school like prostitute. I just
Why
mean
not?
like a nice.
Whoa! Do you think I'm not good enough to be an old school prostitute?
No,
How dare you, Jill? That's it. I'm gonna start ending
color.
this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I don't mean like a bright red blush. But
I
just,
invite
like,
you on my
a
podcast.
peachy color.
And you say I cannot be an old school prostitute. How dare you? I can't.
All right,
believe
do it.
you.
Do the bright blue eyeshadow and the obnoxiously red blush.
I'm
Do
gonna
it,
have
bud. I bet
thick,
you look fantastic.
thick eyeliner. I'm gonna look like I'm gonna make emo girls in high school look bad. That's how much that they'll be like. Damn.
Oh, so you're gonna make me look old school me look bad?
Yeah, because I'm gonna have thick ass.
Challenge accepted.
I'm
Challenge accepted. Go for it.
Thick ass eyeliner. My eyeliner is gonna be size 18 print.
Size 18.
Like the brush size on like paint.
I'm gonna have to sew my
brush size
Yep,
18.
yeah. I'm gonna sew my eyelids up a little bit so that they don't hang as heavy.
There you go.
Because of the amount of eyeliner that I'm gonna have.
Okay. Well, in that case, then yes, you know what it's like to maintain things if you're gonna keep up that size 18 eyeliner.
I'm just saying.
Eyeshadow.
I was just saying, facial hair wise, because you have to. It's a everyday. Like it's to make it look good, right? Have the handlebars. You got to shave almost every day, and you're just gonna be like waking. If you go one day where you're like, I don't feel like shaving, it's gonna look weird. There's a point where you can have it because you would have it kind of like the Hulk Hogan look, where you have your handlebar mustache and then just like a 5 o'clock shadow. But most people don't nowadays. Like I don't see any good 5 o'clock shadows. I think they're all like, because a lot of people just
I don't ever see good 5 o'clock shadow.
I don't, not anymore. I feel like the 5 o'clock shadow went away in the 90s. Like,
well, if I could have facial hair, one of the things I would definitely do is the Hulk Hogan. Come on, it's so iconic.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah,
I would, if my mustache connected, right underneath my nose, I would go with the full Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds like thick mustache.
Ooh,
oh my god, yes.
But it doesn't connect, so it looks weird.
Speaking of facial hair, Citra and I were talking about a certain figure in history that I will remain nameless.
Yes.
Literally,
the H-Man.
like we were talking about the mustache and how that has literally like that. We were talking about how that has been ruined forever. Like that could have been a facial hairstyle that people
Charlie
would do.
Chaplin. Yeah, Charlie Chaplin.
People, right? And it has been ruined forever. No one can ever do that, or they will be seen as a terrible person just for wanting.
True.
Yeah,
like,
it's
so true.
It's one of
the like that could have been a thing today. We could have been walking outside, like walk into the store or something. You could have seen like a whole group of dudes with that, just because like that could be the thing that was in right now. But now it can never be a thing.
Yeah, but also, I don't think it was that popular in the first place. Like if you go through the history of time,
it could have been.
You would see many mustaches. You'd see many like handlebars. You'd
But we'll
see
never
beards, right? All these things they're documented in history. Abraham Lincoln had the Lincoln. He had the chin strap with some
hold
fullness
on.
to it.
If you look back in history, you see the people with the curly mustache, right? I've seen people with that. It takes a lot of work, but I've seen
my
people
God,
with that.
That's it's not worth it. It's really not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't.
You have to hairspray it, I wonder? Surely you
wax it for sure to shape it, and I think to really get it to stick, you kind of have to have some form of.
But I've
adhesives.
seen multiple people with that mustache, and that mustache was in history. And this particular mustache can never we will never know if that could have been a thing that just popped off one year, because it can't be a thing. It can never be a thing.
Yeah.
It might be for the best that it can't be a thing.
I mean, true.
There's not
some people might have been able to pull it off.
I don't know what kind of person would have to be like the Charlie Chaplin H-Man mustache. I don't understand the appeal of it. Just in a if you're trying to not have your mustache grow into your mouth, there's better versions of having a short mustache or a smaller mustache. But just having it direct on the cartilage of your nose, having it there, that's the only place it's at. It doesn't go nostril to nostril. It's just the small, and it's I really just don't see the point of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could rock it if you wanted to. You know what, Jill? I have all the faith that if you could grow facial hair, you could rock it.
I don't think I would, just because of history. But I mean, the Hulk Hogan though, for sure, I could totally do that. Right across. I used to do it when I used to have long hair as a kid. You put the hair under the lip and around.
I was gonna say Mop does it all the time.
It's perfect.
I haven't been able to do that in a very long time.
Pro tip, if you take your hair across and tuck it behind your other ear, it will stay. If you're trying to have a mustache.
When my hair is long enough, I'm going to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've seen Mop do it just in real time. Just do it. Just be fascinated for a second to make a mustache.
I got a mustache. Hell yeah.
It's the small things in life,
Yeah, right.
But question, Jill, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but I need to confront Mop on her chip throwing.
Oh God.
Did she ever throw food at you? At the meetup?
I mean, she would throw a shot at me, but to do it, not actually throw an actual shot at me. But
if I threw a shot at you, though, it would spill. I wouldn't waste booze like that.
Here's the thing, though. They didn't serve food when we were at the meetup, so I don't think Mop ever even got a chance to throw food at me.
Mop had Mop that night was weird. Mop said the first thing out of her mouth was, "Sorry, I smell like beef." Not hi. not good to see you. Sorry, I smell like beef. We were at a Korean barbecue. Oh, okay, nice to meet you.
Because I reeked of beef. I went to give him a hug, and I was like, I really smell like beef. I'm sorry.
It's yes, that would have been the first thing out of my mind. I'm like, oh, look, it's Mop. Nice to meet you, Mop. Finally get to see you in person. This is great. No, I smell like beef.
I think the full thing out of my mouth when I met Mop was, "Hi, I'm ItsOnlyJill. I've been following and subbed to you for a really long time. Want to go do a shot with me and this guy?" And Citra at the time, because I didn't actually know who he was.
Yeah, I think that's literally what happened. I was like, yes,
100%.
I would love to take a shot.
I was like, it's on me. Let's go.
We were friends. Yeah, It was great.
That's a pleasant friendship building. Mop threw ketchup chips at me from.
Oh, nice.
Not nice. She was
they are
throwing
ketchup
them.
chips, though, so they do stain things.
She was throwing them at me with to try to get them stuck in my beard. I'm trying. I'm having a conversation with Pyre. We're talking about the purity number, and I'm just getting pelted with ketchup chips, full pieces and broken pieces. It was not.
He refused to try them, so I was like, "Grumm, eat chips." And then I was,
if it gets
of course,
stuck in your beard,
drunk.
you'll eat it.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw chips at you.
And I just look at her, and I was like, "What's going on?" And she's like, She did a
Try
little
that.
wave, and then threw another one at me. I was like, thankfully, they took Marcel took the chips from you as a result because he saw what was going on. He's like, okay, you need to
You
not
know
be throwing.
what? You
He
know
did-
what, though, Grumm?
he
That was
did
the
give you
night that
them.
I met Jill, and I'm gonna blame that tequila shot for my chip
No,
throwing.
no, it wasn't.
No.
Because I
Was it
wasn't
not?
because I wasn't at the meet. So that was like the May meetup. Then there was the August meetup that you couldn't attend because
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that's
yeah,
where
yeah, you're
This
right.
was the one in November.
and then
Yeah, no, you're
I
right.
couldn't make that because my friend's wedding.
Right, of course.
And
No,
then
I
that was
didn't.
the-
I didn't meet you at that one.
Yeah, no, Jill wasn't even there.
No.
Jill didn't know anything about
Right.
Twitch. Jill was
right.
kept to herself. She was a shy little human being.
Were
No,
you not
okay.
on
In my
Twitch
defense,
at that point?
no, I was.
Oh.
I didn't even know Twitch meetups were a thing. I kept going
Yeah.
to TwitchCon, but didn't know
Mhm.
that Twitch meetups were a thing. And the only reason I went is because Rob put me on the spot 2 weeks before the meetup was supposed to happen in November and was like, "Yo, Jill, I'm live, just like doing whatever." And he's like, "Yo, Jill, RSVP to this right now." And I'm like, what am I doing?" He's like, "It's a Twitch meetup." I was like, "What is a Twitch meetup? I don't even know what this is." He's like, "Just RSVP to it." And I just did it. And he's like, "Okay, we'll see you in a couple weeks." I'm like, "Wait, I'm going to Toronto in a couple weeks?" All right, cool. Sounds good.
And you wouldn't have met Citra if you hadn't. Yeah.
I tell Rob all the time. I was just like, I wouldn't have met a lot of these awesome people that I know now if it wasn't for you, like putting me on the spot live, telling me to RSVP.
Yeah, that's crazy,
something.
actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't have met Pyre or Jedi or you, Mop, or
Yeah.
or like Citra or any of them. I wouldn't be living here right now if that didn't happen.
True.
So my life would be very
Crazy.
different right now
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
Rob
it's-
wasn't so intrusive.
Wow. If only I went to that one, and then I could also be included in that list of people.
Yeah, but then I met you at
You-
the TwitchCon.
No. We net.
Before that.
Nope.
Oh no, we still haven't met yet.
Nope. We've
person.
never actually
Okay.
physically met because we were supposed to go. You guys went to that Padres
Oh.
game, the baseball game, and I had plans to like hang out with somebody or like go to the con,
Aw.
Right.
and I didn't go.
Okay,
to the,
I don't
So,
know
yeah.
why. Okay, I hugged somebody else that was very tall, and I, for some reason, just
Look,
like in my
it's-
mind, it just turned it into you.
It was TwitchCon. There can't be that many. Too many. There's only like 0.2% of people to attend TwitchCon are over 6 feet tall. Like me and Rob are like the like just the tallest people there.
I think I hugged Gooderness, and
Okay, yeah, Gooderness is tall. Jedi's
he's
tall as well.
Tall man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gooderness is a tall, thick penguin, and I think that's why I was like, if by my mind, I was like, I hugged
I
Grumm
need-
because he's a tall, thick boy.
Do I need to pretend to be a penguin? Like, is that what I need to do? Do I need to be pretend to be a penguin?
No,
Rebrand
no.
myself? Is that?
But
dude,
Probably should, like,
Gooderness
right
is
now.
a penguin, right? So
that's it. I'm a penguin. I am a penguin. Look at me. I am penguin. Pengrum is me.
Penguin, yeah.
Penguin. So we're going off the rails here a little bit.
So totally off topic.
But no, that's the best part about it is because it's an excuse to talk with friends and have any conversation that
Hey,
we want to
listeners,
have.
can you tell we're friends? Like, just I don't know. I mean, like a little bit.
Slayer's gonna yell at me
A little bit,
if he
little
listens to this because I was talking about how I like to have my friends. And he's like, oh, you have a lot of friends, and I'm like, yes, Slayer, I have a lot of friends. He's like, look at you bragging, and I'm like, Slayer, you also have a lot of friends. What the fuck are you talking about? But final thoughts from the Yeti debut. We'll start with Mopgarden.
I'm a yay to the Yeti. I'm for it.
Oh,
I'm
okay, all
still
right.
a little confused about why a mummy is called that, but it's all good.
So
I
we're-
like the gyrations.
Yeah, all right. Taking some notes, I presume.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Of course. Always.
I don't know what qualifies as dancing in Australia anymore, so I've never been, but I was hit
Well,
to
we're
what
in
was-
lockdown, so
yeah,
no dancing for me.
no dancing. But you're a what were you? You were a
Yeah,
Yeah.
a. What about you?
So
Are
it
you
was with like a Fonzie A on
A?
there.
Yeah.
So are you a
exactly.
Yet A or a Net A on the Yeti, Jill?
Are you asking me?
You are Jill, yeah, right? You're only
I,
Jill.
I'm the only one. No.
It's only Jill.
I'm a Yet A
Okay.
for the Yeti. Again, it's goofy, but I mean, there's a lot of goofy things in wrestling, isn't there? Like, I feel like it fits perfectly right in there because, like, not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's I don't personally know, but Grumm, you would know. I'm sure there's other really goofy wrestlers out there that are like, you know what? I'm a wrestler that wears a cape and like I don't even like weird wigs or whatever. I'm sure there's a couple out there that are exactly the same. So I feel like it fits right in.
A lot of wrestlers wear capes. Some ironically, some unironically.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's yeah, you're right. There are a lot of goofy. I mean, at the a year later, there's a wrestler who's based off of Mortal Kombat debuts.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Yeah, it doesn't go well because it's just like they're like, oh, it was like a year or two, like they're like, oh, you know what was really controversial? Mortal Kombat. We should make a character like that. All right, what's his name? Glacier. What? And then like a week after he debuts, he's like, yeah, so this I went I grew up and my dad was a cop, my brother was a cop, grew up in Georgia, and I was faced with the decision to follow them or forge my own path, and I went to Japan where I found my sensei, which is Japanese for teacher. He's like, and I learned all forms of martial arts, and this symbol means this, and this symbol means that, and this is this, and it's like, well, there went all the mystique of this character right out the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of goofy characters.
It was Glacier and not Glacier.
Glacier. No.
Glacier.
I love that.
Glacier. No. But it was the Yeti.
In my opinion, that clip gets a 4 Yetis out of 5.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
But only because I didn't see any pants pooping. I didn't see any ball slips or butt cheek slips. However, the good things, the mullets were great. The flexibility was impressive, and the body flipping was also impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And we did see one nip.
Yes, we got to see a nip.
Yeah,
that's true.
This is true. This is true. Well, you got to see 3 nipples if you're counting Lex Luger's nipples, because Lex Luger wasn't wearing a shirt.
He wasn't wearing a shirt.
Muscly man with as described, the bubble butt.
And the bubble butt, that is a plus as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Lex Luger over with It's Only Jill in 2021. 2021, yeah. Watch out, Citra. She's eyeing up Lex Luger. From 1995.
I got my own bubble butt. Thank you very much.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
But yes. So Jill, do you want to take us home? Let the people know where they can find you, what projects you're working on. This is gonna be the first podcast, the 1st of November. So if you had anything around that time you want to promote, go ahead. Oh yeah, it's a little bit ahead of time.
Let's see. I don't think I got anything planned, but I try to make my streams super, super fun. So if you want to find me there, it's twitch.tv/itsonlyjill or itsonlyjill.tv. Both take you right to my channel. You can also find me on Twitter, which the @ for that is itsonlyjill with a stupid underscore that I cannot get rid of, and I'm angry about it. I do have a YouTube, but unfortunately I haven't been uploading videos as of recently. I will be. You know what? Maybe that's a thing that I'll have out. Maybe I'll have out a new video or two by then, by November 1st.
Ooh.
God, I hope so.
I hope
so. I've been trying real hard to.
What's your
it's
YouTube?
all It's Only Jill.
Right.
Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube are all It's Only Jill. Twitter is the only one that's different. It's Only Jill _ again. Still infuriated about that, but it's fine. But yeah, you can find me there. I tried to, again, I'm pretty transparent with my community. So we talk about anything from mental health to sexual positivity to ball slips and nip slips and but to video games, to mental health, we talk about a lot of stuff. So you could always find me there, and I try to make everyone feel as welcome as possible.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Bunch of
Yeah.
boneheads.
Bunch of boneheads.
Bunch of
Catacomb
boneheads.
fam. They're all a bunch of boneheads. I love them to pieces.
Aw, listen, there we go. Mop, what about you? Where can the people find you? What are you working on? Where can they consume your content and other stuff?
Yum content. Everything I have is just Mopgarden. I upload monthly highlights and random playthroughs on YouTube. And everything's Mopgarden. I sometimes post clips to TikTok, and that's about it. Yeah, I stream.
Twitch.tv/Mopgarden. Twitter is @Mopgarden. Instagram @Mopgarden. YouTube Mopgarden. And Just Chatting with Mopgarden is also.
Yes, thank you.
That's good.
I'm so bad at promoting myself.
It's okay. I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok too, but I never know. It's just like I get like a little intimidated because I see these 12-year-olds like popping out TikToks that are just so good, and I'm like, what do I do?
I know.
I don't know how to use
Yeah.
this.
TikTok's algorithm is designed to reward nonsense. So just post stuff. It just post it reckless abandon. Like if you post 4 videos, one of them is going to get picked up at some point.
Fair.
Because the algorithm is just like, hey, this had somebody who was wearing a yellow shirt, and you like that. Here's another person wearing a yellow shirt doing something completely different. So,
The yellow shirt segment.
Yeah, basically. Yellow shirts are the trend for 2022. You heard it here first, folks. But yeah, just chatting with Mopgarden. It's just chatting Mopgarden on Twitter.
Mop just chatting.
Mop just chatting. There we go on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find that on all podcasting platforms. I'm on there. I have an episode also on there.
Yeah.
Empire, who was a guest here, was a guest there. Let's see, is there anybody else? Not yet, but I'm gonna start poaching some of that list. Because it's a good list of people.
Get it.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming on. It was a great time. This might have been my longest recording. But it's great because I don't know. I can't remember the last time. We talked for like an hour and a half or so for your podcast. But aside from that, like I haven't talked to you guys nearly long enough in the last year or so. So it was good.
I think
it was
it's
good. To catch up.
I think it's me. This is not the first time somebody has told me, wow, this meeting went a little longer than I was expecting, but it was great. Like interviews, anytime I have like a meeting with the Gamers vs MS people, like our meetings, like it's supposed to be like 10 minutes, but we're usually going like 40 minutes just talking. I think it's me. I think I just come up with these weird ideas and topics that just make people talk longer than they're expecting.
That's good.
It's more of like I told you guys 2 hours, so I didn't want to like take up more of your time, but here we are at 2.5 hours, and like I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be a long podcast that's gonna get like most of it's gonna stay in, like including the part where you got up and you were like, hey, sorry guys, I have to poop so bad right now. We're gonna keep that in, Jill. Don't you worry.
I peed. Thank you very much. And it's because I woke up from my nap and was like, oh, I got to do the thing. And I just went to my computer without going pee first.
Yeah. Well, you're
funny.
You guys are both going to be up for the next 8 hours. I'm like, well, I'm going to go to bed in like an hour from now. So it was good to have you guys on. The two, well, I guess Mop's not a night creature. It's daytime, but it's just nighttime for the rest of us over here in North America. Thank you guys again for coming on. If you guys enjoyed what you heard from these two, check them out. It's Only Jill, Mopgarden, two of friends doing the damn thing, and I'm very proud of them. Glad to have them on, and I love them. I want them to know that.
Thanks, Grumm. Thanks
still
for
here,
having me.
Thank you, guys, and can't wait till next time.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye. I was supposed to be bi, but it didn't
All
really
right.
come out that
No,
way.
that works. Those were my two fantastic friends, It's Only Jill and Mopgarden, turning the dork side of the ring into pondering how don't testicles fall out of spandex tights. I didn't think about it before this episode. I hope I never think about it again. But thank you, Jill, Mop, for coming on. You can find them. You can follow them. You can find them on Twitch and Twitter. Twitch for Jill is It's Only Jill. So twitch.tv/ItsOnlyJill. You can also find her on Twitter at ItsOnlyJill_. We're going to get rid of that underscore, Jill. If that's the last thing I do. In Mopgarden, you can find twitch.tv/Mopgarden. You can also find her on Twitter at Mopgarden. You can also find Mop's fantastic podcast that I've been a guest on myself, Just Chatting with Mopgarden. You can also find it. It's just chatting, Mop Just Chatting on Twitter, I believe. Yes. At Mop Just Chatting. That's it. That's the episode. I look. We did the thing. We did the damn thing, guys. You and me, but mostly you. You listened so that this is possible, right? Because I could have just done this and it would have happened. So I guess technically it's me, but I'm gonna give the credit to you because I wouldn't do it if nobody was listening, and enough people are listening. So I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Next week we have a fun episode. In sort, like first off, I need to just talk about how like this happened with like the thing. I looked at the calendar. I think I talked about it before. I looked at the calendar and I said, "Wow, Halloween falls on an awkward time this year because it's on a Sunday. I don't know." I don't know when to do my Halloween episode, and then I kind of had the two topics, Halloween Havoc 1995. I was like, it's too big for just one episode. It could be a mega episode, but not. And then it was like perfect. But next week, we get back to our regularly scheduled dork side. No themes. I guess it kind of is a theme. It's still kind of Halloween-y if you really think about it. But we watch the Kiss Demon. I introduce my friends Miss Michelle Jean and Carice of Twitch.tv as well to the Kiss Demon, his introductory, the segment that introduced him, and his big main event match, special main event match against The Wall from Super Brawl 2000, and tell them a little bit about that. That's a fun one, so do tune in next week, the 8th of November, or the 30th of October if you're on Patreon. That's right, you can get it next week early on Patreon. Go to support.grumm.tv and you can see all the fantastic stuff. It's not just Dorkside content. It's going to be YouTube content. It's streaming content. It is good times, and it is a fantastic deal, I think. You're not going to get this kind of content creator deal anywhere else. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, sub to my Twitch, you get ad-free viewing, or you get this for $5. Well, if you give me $5 instead of them, I'm going to tell you what you get. You give me $5, you'll get ad-free viewing. You'll get early access to Dork Side of the Ring, and you'll get early access to my other content as well. That's right. Live content, you get early access to it because you get more access. You don't really get early access, but you get like more in-depth access. You get to hang out and talk during stream. So that's some good stuff. That's for $5. $10, you get more. You get everything at $5 that you would get for $10, but more. That's how this works. That's how Patreon works. All right? Support.grumm.tv. If you don't feel the holidays are coming up, is tough. Don't spend your money on me. Spend your money on your loved ones, unless you love me. And if you love me, I love you too. But if you want to continue to support, you can support for free. Continue doing what you're doing. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your cohort workers, tell everybody, including the people you don't like talking to, because they need to know about the Dork Side of the Ring podcast as well. Tell them about the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. We're the podcast with the cartoon faces on it. And you could also leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and just share the podcast that way. That helps us grow as well. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DorksideRing. And I think that's about it for all the fancy free the fancy free supporting, but also just the plugs out of the way. I think we're good. Next week, Kiss Demon with Miss Michelle Jean and Carice. Good times ahead. I I'm just in love with the passion, the inspiration I get from you, my listeners, my friends who are listening, the people I've yet to meet who are listening. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet. I feel like Patrick. Weast. I thought you said East. I thought you said Weast. That's West Patrick. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet you. A grain. See what we did there? That's a pun. A lot of puns, real quick. Thank you guys again. I am Grumm. I am your purveyor of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. This has been the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. Thank you guys for hanging out. Remember, the next time you enjoy wrestling is because you didn't take it seriously. Why? Because we believe here that wrestling is better when no one's taking it seriously. I am Grumm. I will see you guys next week here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast.